Stupid strategy, but if it works, it works. Dude, this guy's name is Wigglytuff. It's got, oh my gosh, and of course they got the Wigglytuff, right? On brand. They don't give anything away with it. Yeah. That's actually such a good point, because if they didn't leave with Wigglytuff, people were going to predict they have in the back. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. I know it's been a while since I made a YouTube video, but I've been busy with some other non-Pokemon Go related work stuff. But I'm back making some videos, and I'm gonna start off with a Little Holiday Cup. And I gotta say, Little Cup in general is pretty weird in my opinion, because it's either you have really bulky Pokemon like Meryl, Shuckle, Bronzor allowed in these metas and all comes down to timeouts, or they're not allowed in the meta and just comes down to fast attack pressure, very quick games. And the latter is what we have here today. So the team I ran is a Shadow Alolan Marowak, Shadow Girafarig, and a Wigglytuff. And the thing is, if you don't have Shadow Alolan Marowak, because you had to have a Shadow Cubone back in the day, and there was only a very limited time where you could even evolve it, and Shadow Cubone aren't even in stops anymore. So you could run it with a non-Shadow Alolan Marowak if you have one. If you don't, Shadow Litwick or just regular Litwick should be fine as well. Girafarig doesn't have to be Shadow, and part of me thinks that it's probably better that it's not Shadow because it's already super frail. Let's dive into the battles because they go by super quick, but this team is super effective. Before we get into the battles, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you'd like private one-on-one coaching, scrims against me, some of my league guides and strategies ahead of time, or even tune into my live stream battles, feel free to sign up through the Patreon link down below. Kicking things off, we're going to have a Alolan Sandshrew for the Alolan Marowak, which is going to be a fantastic lead. And they actually stay in here. And the thing is, you kind of have to respect the Night Slash. It does a decent amount of damage. And my guess is they're pretty weak to Alolan Marowak in the back. So I am going to preserve it. I get a shield back pretty quickly here, which is nice. I'm going to swap over to my Girafarig because this is going to be just a lot of fast attack pressure. You pretty much have to use... Girafarig is really strong for this meta, but you pretty much have to shield everything. And they have a Bulbasaur in the back, so this one's pretty much going to be over. As expected, they were ABA weak to that Shadow Alolan Marowak. That being said, we have Litleo, which is kind of a weird matchup. The main important thing is you don't want to let them sneak any Incinerates through. I'll probably suboptimal here and go for one Fire Spin and then Bone Club, allow me to get to both. So I give up one turn in the process, but it's not really that big of a deal. And then they let it go, and here comes the Golett. So again, they're probably weak to the Marowak, so we're just going to pivot out here. And I just do way too much damage with just confusion, so it's going to force them to swap out. Ends up being Pachirisu in the back, which is not like the worst against Marowaks. I'm actually surprised they stayed in even in that lead matchup. But oh, I guess it's kind of neutral in both ends, right? So it makes sense why they just let it go. This actually worked out really well for me. Charge Attack priority right there allows me to... I think I actually lost a turn there because technically they shouldn't even be able to Charge Attack priority me in that situation. But we just charm down from here. We get to the Swift, and Swift honestly is pretty solid. You probably don't even need Icy Wind much, to be honest, because even when resisted, it's actually pretty solid damage. It's only really when they're a Ghost type or they're double resisting it where you really want to throw Icy Wind. That being said, we catch a Ducklett in the lead. There's a lot of Ducklett, but I've managed to beat a decent amount of teams with Ducklett leads. You're going to see a lot of them in this video. I'm just filming my two most recent back-to-back sets. I also managed to get my Elo in the process here too. Unfortunately, I get denied a Fire Spin here, but I knew they weren't really at Rock Slide energy, so or Bulldoze energy, so I knew I could just no shield. And in comes the Ducklett. Again, probably going to just be a Bubble Beam. Ends up being Aerial Ace, decent amount of damage. At this point too, my win condition is pretty much getting enough energy to 2 Shadow Bones. I had to shield everything here, even resisted, because it's going to do a lot of damage. This is Little Cup, as you may know, and it's not the Shuckle variant. And we go for the back-to-back Shadow Bone. I still have a shield, so either way, even if they have a move, we're okay. As long as the game doesn't lag too much on me, I get them off, and Ducklett lead, no problem for this team. All right, and then we have Porygon-Z here. This is kind of a weirder, more neutral matchup, but as long as they're running lock-on, should be fine. They actually swap over to Wigglytuff, which is really good for me. Pretty much my whole team can deal with the Porygon, so I'm not really worried here, to be honest. But I think I'm just going to, I'm just going to mash the shields either way, because I just want to see what they have in the back. And they come back in with the Porygon. So that's pretty interesting. That being said, I'm going to go for the double Bone Club, and these lock-ons are doing just 1 damage apiece. So really good for me. End up getting another move off and taking him out, which is huge. And of course, at this point, we don't even really need the Wigglytuff. The Psychic Feint plus confusion damage is just kind of nutty for Girafarig. All right, and another Ducklett in the lead. Like I said, you're going to see a lot of these, but some of them are running Water Gun, some of them are running Weak Attack. It's kind of like a mixture of both. We get a shield from the Alolan Sandshrew, which is really nice. To be honest, if they don't shield it, I probably could shield and confusion down, so it makes sense why they did it. But on charge attack priority, even better. Means that they won't be able to get to a move here. Unfortunately, our timers are misaligned quite a bit. Not misaligned, but we're just stuck in this matchup. So I'm going to throw the Shadow Bone and then swap out. And they shield, of course, and probably a Bulb Beam, so no big deal. We'll let this go. And sometimes it's probably worth shielding the Bulb Beam, but in this situation, it's okay. All right, and I'm going to go for the Icy Wind here. I think these are both double No, it's just Icy Wind's single resisted, and the Body Slam is double resisted, yeah. So, better to throw there. Also, getting the debuff is pretty big. My win condition here is getting to a Shadow Bone in time against the Ducklett, which is why I chose not to even throw any, or I didn't really want to get taken out there. It's going to be pretty bad, but Bubble Beam just a little bit short here, which is perfect, and we get the Shadow Bone off. If there's a Shadow Ducklett, then I just lose that game probably. But we get this on our rank 19 set, which means that we have 5 encounters. Nothing exciting, unfortunately, out of it, but I do get my elo here, 22-24, not too bad of a starting point. And we'll go into our second and final set here. Of course, another really bad lead. The Astonish damage is just way too overwhelming for the Marowak to withstand. But we draw out the Wigglytuff. We get a shield too, which is really nice. And the Wigglytuff will probably get to a move, but it's not really worth shielding. So I'm just going to Fire Spin this all the way down. And if I can get to a Shadow Bone, even better. And I do get to Shadow Bone. My switch timer's not up, so throwing this move is pretty important to mitigate as much Astonish damage as possible. And now we swap over. I'm going to have to shield this. Icy Wind does a decent amount of damage, especially from a Shadow one. And they have Annihilate, which is fantastic for me. This whole team is very strong into Annihilate, so also good to see for sure. And we'll take it out with the Icy Wind. But yeah, overall, this team really, really strong for me. Highly recommend it. And the best part is, these sets go by quick. So you got extra time to spend with your friends and family during the holidays. And you can still finish your sets and get all the Stardust and stuff. Obviously, the game's a little bit buggy if you haven't noticed already, because of all the times where you knock out Pokemon, it still shows them there. Just keep in mind, just watch the Pokeball, right? As you can see, the Miltank's already taken out. Just have to watch the Pokeball there. Get perfect optimization here, which is really nice for me. And yeah, they come in with the Alolan Marowak. I think I just come in with my own. Yeah. I don't know. They might get to another Bone Club. Let's see if they go for it. Okay. They go for, it's a Swablu, which is interesting. I thought it would be like Dragon typing, but it's actually normal flying. You don't see this typing very often. So my win con here is actually not to throw a move. I need to just Fire Spin this down. This is not Dragon type, so it's not resisted. So it's actually neutral damage, which is not too bad. I think they're running Astonish, though, which is why I'm taking so much damage. My whole point is I need to get enough energy to take out this Marowak, otherwise I lose. So my lose con there is actually throwing energy. So sometimes it's just important to just recognize those win conditions, and we get the win there. Aurorus. Typically, this is not bad with that Powder Snow. Took me a second to realize it, but they're running Rock Throw. So I took like 3 of them before swapping out. Took way too much damage. But something to definitely think about if you do see Aurorus. And of course, we do have the shield here. But the neutral Psychic Feints plus confusion damage is pretty nutty. Like, look at this. We just take out the Skelders if they don't shield. So that's really nice for me. And we get the confusion damage off, which is huge. And I get the Charm down. I don't even see the third. So, turning bad leads to wins all day long with this team. I mean, look at this. This is Ducklett like number 4, I think, at this point. In 2 sets, in under 2 sets, because we're not even done with this set yet. But yeah, you pretty much have to shield everything, even potential Bulb Beams. So I am going to shield that up. throw the Psychic Fangs is enough to confusion down. And of course, again, we get to the Psychic Fangs, which is nice. I assume they probably shield this one. Yeah, they do. Unfortunate, because this thing is pretty strong into my team. Yeah, this is a little bit tough. Can't really come in Alolan Marowak in this. I'm surprised they threw Rock Slide. Definitely want to throw Drill Run if you can. It's just a better neutral move. And unfortunately, this is a Litwick with Astonish, so I pretty much just lose. I think my win condition is maybe even staying in there and not giving too much farm. But the problem is I just lose to Dunsparce later anyway. But in my mind, I thought it was Ember, so that's why I swapped right away. But maybe I should have been more patient there. But either way, this one was pretty hard to win at this point. Triple counters to the Alolan Marowak. It's just like that guy that brought Annihilate into my team. Triple weak to it. I guess my team is really hard time, right? Alright, another Ducklett in the lead. And don't matter. We know how to play around this. This is going to be a Fire Fang Litleo. I am debuffed, so it doesn't do as much damage. Dang, almost took that out too, even while debuffed. There's a lot to get the Fire Spin down without taking any too much damage, so that's kind of nice. And we're probably going to have to swap out right away. Let's see what they have. Yeah, here comes the Ducklett again. This could be a Brave Bird or something. I decided to let it go. Yeah, it ends up being Bubble Beam. Yeah, I figured their backline is probably going to be kind of weak to Alolan Sandslash. Or Alolan Marowak, I should say. So, that's my win con. Just you know, just keep a shield for it. And they're running Shadow Claw too, which is even better because they can't farm me down all the way. I know they have to commit energy. Had to shield the potential Drill Run. Ends up being an Ice Punch, but I know the Ducklett's pretty low on health at this point, and we get the win still. And again, so many Duckletts, no problem. We get 4-1 on this set, and we're going to end it off at 22-66. So got a lot more to climb this season, but for those looking to climb quickly in Little Cup, this is a good team to give it a shot. Anyway, if you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share. Subscribe for future content. Hit that subscribe button or hit that notification bell if you want to get notified right when I post a new video. Sorry, I haven't done this in a hot second, so I don't have it by memory as clear as before. But anyway, I wish you all happy holidays. Have a great one, and catch you later.